And we are back. So, now this thing should be dry, with luck. This is where you'll want your knife. And just as we did before, we are going to hack off the tip to create a tip, to make this look as if it's got a point to the blade. There we are. That'll make it easier to see. So you want a sharp knife for this. Put it at an angle you'd like and just cut it off. You might take a few more tries just to make sure that you've got a good line. La-dee-dee-dee-da. And there you go. That is your blade. One last thing you want to do is close off that tip because it's kind of open still. Grab your glue and just put some on the tip. There we go. Once you do that, just sort of hold that where you want the shape of the tip to be, so just pinch it so it's closed, and apply glue. Not too much, just enough that it will close it off. Hold that there for a few minutes, and then it should hold. And you should be good with that. You can let that just be there and have a great time with that. We'll let that sit there for now, and you're going to want to make another one. So just make two, because this is that thing that has two blades that's all strange, and they will rest on each other kind of like that, so that when you draw them it does such. So we shall let this one finish drying and continue with this one. Now you are going to need that, so don't lose it. We're going to make this, I guess, in blue, because that seems like a good color to do this in for now, and you'll be able to see it. So, I mean, I suppose we could do it with the pink and hearts. That's alright, we'll do it in blue. So, blue. You can see it. Now, in fact, better idea. One blue, one red. That way we'll get a difference. Okay, so, you've got your blade core. You've got this. This is going to act as both your sheath and your handle, or hilt, as I like to say, which is the appropriate term for the bit of the sword you hold. It's going to act as both. And the way you'll do that is you'll make a slot that the other blade can fit in. So you will need this second one while you do this part. Let's see if I can remember how. Oh yeah, one thing that's going to be a little strange about these swords is the blades themselves are going to seem somewhat short, because if you look at this, the blade is going to be going through the whole part of the guard. If it doesn't, that bit will be really kind of weird, flimsy, it can break easily, so it's best to have what is called a full tang. This is a real sword term where the entire length of the blade, the metal part of the blade, goes through the part you hold, the hilt. It extends all the way through it, and it gives you a very strong weapon, so that there's not a place to break where the hilt meets the blade. That's the cross guard for European weapons, and if it's not really strong there, they break. So here, as you can see, the way this is set up, the blade is a lot shorter than the hilt here, and that's going to be something you're just going to have to deal with for this particular weapon. You can adjust how much blade you want, how much hilt you want, but you got to remember the blade has to still fit in this amount of sheath, and if you're doing it this way, this much has to fit in this much space, and that's not really going to work. So you do have to kind of find a place to balance it. This is kind of where I'm going to do it. So what you want to do is take your origami paper and just fold it over this way, a little bit, just a little bit. So you've got that. This way you can have your blade a little bit longer than it would be otherwise. If a little bit extends off the end there, don't worry about it. So yeah, that should do. You want to make sure that, you know, the blades can fit within each other, as well as have enough to look however that needs to look. So what you want to do now is have your blade on your paper. You'll need your glue or tape or whatever you want to use, and just put some glue on the blade right up to about there, and for good measure just a little bit right where it touches the back, just a little bit. Now the reason you're doing this is you want to have the paper for the guard, for the hilt here to really stick. If it doesn't stick, things will go wrong. So you want this to really just be on there. So glue it down, make sure it's on there, and I shall come back to you when that is dry.